Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08 and welcome to the 32nd episode of my second 1 billion iron ingot challenge. In today's episode, I'm going to be setting up some uranium ore processing from the mod IndustrialCraft 2, and that is because processing uranium ore in with IndustrialCraft 2 machines yields different results than processing it with other means. So I built a new little building, I guess, and it has its own applied energistic system. It does already have some stuff in it because I was testing around and stuff. But anyways, I will be using this building and this system to make uranium fuel rods for nuclear reactors from the mod IndustrialCraft 2. So let's take a look at the uranium processing. So if we type in uranium here and we right click on uranium ore, we find that there are lots of different ways to process this. Most of the ways get you uranium grit and then eventually refined uranium, but we are going to be using the IndustrialCraft machines, and processing it with a macerator yields crushed uranium ore, which we will then process with an ore washing plant, and that will yield the stuff right here. And then finally, we will take the purified crushed uranium ore and we will send it through a thermal centrifuge to actually get the uranium that we will be using to actually make the fuel rods over here. So let's get started with all of that. Down here I do have an ME controller, so I have a lot of channels to play with should I need. I also have access to my other applied energistic system, my main system, through right here. So the first thing we'll need is a macerator. So let's grab one of those. We will also be needing lots of transformer upgrades and things. So let's grab some transformer upgrades as well as some overclocker upgrades to speed things up. Okay, so first off, let's see, let's go ahead and put the macerator right here. And I also want some ejector upgrades. I just remembered that. So ejector upgrades, I shouldn't need any more than that. Okay, so the macerator will go right here. Oh, and by the way, I am wearing a complete hazmat suit. This will protect me from the radiation that the uranium gives off. Not the uranium ore, but the uranium-235, the uranium-238, and then the refined uranium will give off radiation, or the uranium fuel, rather, will give off radiation. So the complete set is right here, these 4 parts. So that will protect me from the radiation. So let's go ahead and start setting things up. We need to give it some transformer upgrades. Let's do 6 overclockers. And then I want to do an ejector upgrade out of the north side is correct. So let's throw that in here. And then the items will go into a modular storage unit. So let's go ahead and get export buses, and we'll need some acceleration cards in this episode as well as some capacity cards. And let's see here, let's set up this. So export bus will be for uranium. Let's speed that up. Let's get some covered cables and hook it up here. Let's use dense cable to go across the room in each direction like this. That way I have plenty of channels in most locations. Okay, so actually for this macerator I completely forgot. I need to export from my main system. So I need to... Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move this over here. And we can move IndustrialCraft machines with a wrench. Now, if you try to hack them apart with something else, it will break it. So we don't want to do that. So let's... Okay, macerator, and we will need to change this to the south side. And then let's get this and put it back down over here. Okay, so let's try this again. Export bus, uranium ore, speed it up. And then we'll need the black cable, which I don't have with me. And once that hooks up, we should start seeing more uranium ore go into there. So now actually for the power, I should have a power line right underneath here, and I do, it looks like. So I can go ahead and hook this up because I do have the transformer upgrades in here. Always remember to make sure you have the required transformer upgrades before hooking up IndustrialCraft to machines if you so need them. So all of the crushed uranium ore should go into here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook this up to a storage bus that will be hooked up to my system right here. So let's configure this to only hold crushed uranium, give it a negative priority so things don't accidentally flow into it, and then just hook it up like so. Okay, so now that we'll have the crushed uranium ore, let's go ahead and do something with that. We need to send it to an ore washer. Let's put the ore washer, let's do it right here. So I already have one all made up. It'll go right here. Let's go ahead and transformer upgrades. Let's throw 4 overclockers in it. And let's configure this to export, or actually, let's go east. Is it east? No, I need west side. So we'll do this out the west side. We'll put, actually, I can't do that because this will give multiple outputs, and I need some of the outputs to go in certain locations and other outputs to go other locations. So for this, let's grab a couple black hole units. And do I have filters made? I do not have regular filters made. Let's grab some item conduit. And I actually need to go ahead and make filters, because like I said, this will give 3 different outputs. I need the 3 outputs to go to 2 different locations. So first, let me grab some speed upgrades for this thing. I shouldn't need too many. You know what? Let's just do like 4. And then I need to grab filters. And we can just use the basic item filter, and that will work just fine. And I will need 3 of them. Oh, cool. New achievement. Okay, so what we're going to have here is, let's go ahead and export to right here. And get the regular cover cable, hook it up like that. We actually need to grab the uranium from right here, the crushed uranium rather. And that'll need to go into here. And I also forgot this will need water. So for the water, I can just hack into the wall and put it right here. And that should be plenty of water for it. There we go. We already have the upgrades. Doesn't need this. We can go ahead and plug it in. And then we'll put the item conduit up above. And it'll run like that. I think will be fine. Black hole units here. And a modular storage. I'm thinking about using just another black hole unit for this, because there's no way I'll have, you know what, I'll just use modular storage. Okay, so I need 1 item filter in the input of all of these guys. And I don't know how this has an iron plate in it. Not really sure how that happened. Okay, so our outputs are these 4 things. Let's organize them. Let's do this one as the lead dust. Let's do this one as the stone dust. And then this one can be the actual uranium. And I probably just jacked that up. No, I didn't, apparently. Oh, I know why. It's because I don't have that set up yet. Okay, so I will need to take this iron plate out and pop this into a crafting table to reset it. Okay, so let's turn that on. Let's go ahead and throw the extract speed upgrades in. Okay, cool. And then we will need a storage bus on this as well. Let's configure it to be partitioned to what's already in there, and then set it to negative priority again. Okay, there we go. So we have the purified crushed uranium. And the last step for that is we actually need to send it to a thermal centrifuge. And we can put that, let's put it right, yeah, let's do it right here. So centrifuge, and we can get rid of this stuff for right now. We only need one of them for right now. Let's put it right here. This centrifuge will have an additional upgrade. So I think I have 4 of the overclockers in the ore washer. I need the centrifuge to have the same amount. In addition, I want to add an inverter redstone upgrade. And what that will do is allow this thing to consume power and get hot before it actually has items in it. The thermal centrifuge actually needs to be up to a certain temperature before it can operate. So what that redstone upgrade allows it to do is just consume power and to get hot when it has nothing in it. Otherwise, it would cool down if it had no items in it, and we don't want that to happen. Because the plan is for this thing to be running pretty much all the time. Okay, so it has power. That's cool. Let's hook up the export bus. And I need some of that purified crushed uranium that I probably just got rid of. And actually, I could have just right-clicked right here. Erp. So the purified crushed uranium will go there. Let's go ahead and hook up the cable. Okay, so how many bus or how many channels am I using off of this? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's not too bad yet. So we are starting to get the uranium. It is heating up as we see, so that's cool. And then we'll need to send that to, okay, at the west side. That is the west side. Cool. We need to send that to a modular storage unit, and then storage bus that up. Actually, no, I can't do that. Because once again, this will produce multiple outputs, and we need them to go to separate locations. And we'll need, let's just go ahead and use black hole units for this, because this will not be the bottleneck most likely. So let me grab a couple filters as well. Actually, I want to wrench this away. There we go. Okay, so do I have my 2 filters? I do. I actually already have some of the uranium here. I was playing with this earlier. Okay, I thought I had some of the uranium. Maybe I don't. Apparently I don't. So I thought I had some. Apparently I don't. So I will need to wait for this to process. In the meantime, I can go ahead and insert the filters here. I needed to not do that. Let's try this again. So filter here. Let's go ahead and set it to insert. Filter here, set it to insert as well. And then here, we're not going to turn this on quite yet because we actually need this to function once before we can do that. In the meantime, I can go ahead and set up the export buses or the storage buses. Let's set these to negative priority before I forget, and then we can hook up the cable. That did not go as planned. Okay, so is this, okay, there we go. We have what we need. And this stuff is radioactive. If I did not have the hazmat suit on, it would give me a bad time. So let's go ahead and set this one up to be the tiny piles. This one can be the bigger variants. Maybe. And those are whitelisted. So let's go ahead and turn this on. All that stuff should be taken out and go to its proper spots. And then we can go ahead and hit this button right here. Fantastic. Okay, so next off, I need to actually start making some fuel rods for the fuel to go into, because actually I don't have the fuel yet. I need to actually make the fuel. So let's go ahead and get a crafter. I don't think I have one on me. Do these retain their, they retain their recipes. Okay, so yeah, I was playing with these earlier, so I should have one that is for the fuel. Let's see here. Is this it? Yes, this is for the fuel. So I already had it, for the most part, configured here. I already have the recipe set up. I already have all of the slots configured to remember the right slots. So I just need to hook it up and hook up an export bus here. So let's do that. I need one capacity card with acceleration cards. And then just hook it up like that. So there we go. We have some enriched uranium fuel. We just need to kick that out to a storage apparatus, and we can just use modular storage. So this will be extract always on. This will be insert always on, or yeah, derp. And then we need to storage bus this up. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can go ahead and do this, but that's the last one. Okay, so my fuel should be there. Let's see here. I need to make fuel rods, and I will need iron from this system right here. So, you know, I probably shouldn't have crowded this in quite so much. I'm regretting that right now. So to make the fuel rods, let's just go ahead and see the recipe. To make the fuel rods, I will need a metal former in the extruding mode, but I will need iron plates first. To get iron plates, I'm going to be using a compactor. So I should already have one already. Here we are. Here's the compactor. And I will need to export iron ingots. Okay, so where can I put you? I might go ahead and see if I can't put it right here. Let's see. Can I grab access to my power? I can. And then I can just output over here to a modular storage unit. And then that can be hooked up right here to a storage bus. And let's go ahead and set this to negative priority before I actually hook it up to the system. Okay, so I need black cable. You know what, let's just... I don't even care at this point. That'll work fine. So export bus, speed it up with iron ingots, put the iron ingots in, and they should all flow over here. So that's fantastic. Next up, we need to actually we need to extrude those into the fuel rods. So we need a metal former for that. Let's go ahead and put this guy right here. It needs to be in extruding mode, which is its default. Transformer upgrades, let's do some overclocker upgrades, and then let's go ahead and set up an injector upgrade to be out of the west side, which is correct. And then we can put a modular storage over here. And we need to power this thing. There should be power right there, though. Okay, so it doesn't have any items quite yet. That's because I haven't set up the export bus. Derp to derp. Okay, acceleration, iron plates, boom. So now we'll be getting fuel rods. And let's go ahead and once again set up another storage bus here. Negative priority. Set it up to be what's already in there. And then hook it up right here. Okay, so the next thing is I actually need to get these or the actual... Hang on. The fuel here. I need to get the enriched uranium fuel into the fuel rods, and we can do that through a canning machine. So let's grab a canning machine. We'll plop it. Let's just do it right here. We can export the items necessary right here. One capacity card, some acceleration cards. We'll need fuel rods. let's go ahead and get rid of this. And then the fuel rods, not wrench. We can put those in there. Let's go ahead and put in the upgrades as well. And configure this to be west side. Yes, west side. And then modular storage over here with a storage bus on that with a negative priority again. And then we can hook these things up. And I do need to hook up the power real fast, but that's not a problem. There we go. So now we have the fuel rods. And there's one more thing I would like to do with the fuel rods. I would like to craft them into dual fuel rods. And do I want to do quad fuel rods right now? You know what? I don't think I am. So to make dual fuel rods, we need to send these things to a crafter and a recipe like this. That won't be a big deal though, so let's grab a crafter. And actually I have that crafter. It's either this one or the other one. So yes, as we see, fuel rods will go up here, iron plates will go down here. Let's go ahead and grab some of these. We'll need an export bus. And let's see, how many channels do we have off of this line? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're in good shape. So fuel rods, and then iron plates again. Iron plate. Oh, we need a capacity card. That's what I'm missing. We can just send those in there, and it made the fuel rods. Fantastic. We do need to hook this up to power, though. It's going to be just a little bit trickier. Not really tricky, though, to be honest, because I have power right here. I think if I go over here, yes, right there. Okay, so there's power for that. And we can go ahead and hook this up. And then I need to get these fuel rods out into a modular storage unit. And the reason why I'm using a bunch of modular storage units is at some point I will fill up like this modular storage unit with the dual uranium fuel rods. I don't want the system to continue running and making infinite fuel rods. So basically I have everything capped at a certain capacity. So everything will eventually stop once I get so many fuel rods. And all of the items beforehand, they will also stack up, with the exception of these items right here, which I need to be in infinite storage because I'm not actually using them for anything. Okay, so yeah, so I need item conduit, I believe. We can just set that up to be extract always on, insert, and then storage bus this. -1000. And it will only hold the fuel rods. So I think that is just about it. So basically this system is making fuel rods, and these fuel rods obviously are a little bit complicated to make. So yeah, the system just does that. It makes fuel rods. So eventually it will also be configured to reprocess used fuel rods, but I'm not going to worry about that today because I don't have any used fuel rods to reprocess or to actually set that up. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go away for a second. I'm going to clean everything up, and then I will be right back. So I have everything cleaned up, and I think this is a pretty good wrapping up point. So in today's episode, I set up this system which makes dual uranium fuel rods, which will be fantastic because I will be using those in the near future in some nuclear reactors from the mod IndustrialCraft 2. As of right now, I have something like 8 million iron ingots, which is pretty nifty. I am pretty excited about my uranium or my iron ingot rate right now, and in the very near future that will be increasing substantially. So anyways, if you liked today's episode, definitely give it a like. If you enjoy watching automation in modded Minecraft, definitely consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.